right, welcome everybody to round 2 of the Winter Invitational. We've got Doc28 of Eternal Titans at the bottom of your screen, and we've got Prackalakin of Team WSG at the top. Both of these players at 1-0. The winner of this will make it into the top 8 after the next round. Thank you, level 13, David, the janitor in the house himself. Thank you so much for the follow. Looks like Prackalakin is on the play. They're going to take a mulligan. We're looking at a hand of expand the reach, 2 Moonstar and Vanguard, 2 sigils, and a smite, and a coveted gemstone.
Well, expand the reach is one of the best cards in the deck, but it does require 3rd power.
Let's see what we got here.
And it seems like Prackalakin kept their second 7.
They did keep
Doc
that. Yep.
Doc on the other hand has one of the perhaps unfortunate side effects of being an expedition versus throne is that in order to make your power work, you gotta play some, oh wait, that's a temple standard. Sorry, that is not a time symbol as a temple standard.
Yep, temple standard, yeah.
That's a cool inclusion. Sorry, I forgot how things work. But that's a cool inclusion because it's both a power when you need it to be, but it also is a spell. And this deck wants to play a bunch of interactive spells, so having it be a 2-fold power when you need it plus a spell later when you don't, that's pretty good. Good choice from Doc. Oof! Now that's some good draws from her. Some Wumps, some Jarls. Dazzle,
keeping the Dazzle refusal. Up, yeah, keeping the Dazzle and Swift Refusal up, not playing out the Jarl here.
And of course, Wump has Snowballs. Snowballs are particularly good versus 2/1 Deadlies.
Absolutely it is, although a little bit less good against the 5/5 Moonstar and Vanguard here. That's going to be a little bit tougher for Doc to get through. But here comes that Temple Tactic that switched into a Temple Tactic here. Could use that to bounce the Moonstar and Vanguard if wanted to.
I think Doc might Temple Tactic end of turn. Right, you keep up your counters during the turn. You let Prackalakin draw one card.
Awkward.
because you know that you are getting a bunch of card advantage off your Wisdom of the Elders and your Jarl theoretically. So letting them get one card isn't the end of the world, and you can get a bunch of tempo by putting it back in the end of turn while holding up your counters in case Prack can actually kill one of your threats, and because you'd rather protect your threat than not. Especially because your 6/6 Wump can contest a 5/5 Moonstone Vanguard quite easily.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Having the 6/6 Wump flip is really important to get past that Vanguard. It's a little awkward to let them get a free card off of it, but I think you're right. Just protecting your Wump, making sure it flips, and then you can deal with the Vanguard next turn. And at the end of the day, a flipped Wump trumps one random card any day of the week. So I think you take that trade if you had it.
Yeah, so here we see.
This is actually great because what you can do is you have the 2 snowballs. You have the one from the start of the turn, the second from the attack, and then you have the vicious overgrowth. So you can actually just kill the Vanguard straight up.
I didn't even see that. And you're gonna Berserk Jarl. Now Jarl has, I think it's slightly less in this deck than normal. Jarl has probably a 30% chance to hit, quote unquote. That technically is normally a hit if Doc had units in them. Oh,
my goodness, I love it. Yeah, it has a merchant. So even though so because it's draw and discard, it still counts as drawing the Kroll. So the Fate still triggers, does the 3 damage, and brings the merchant back, even though you discard the Kroll. Gotta love that synergy, and that's why Doc's playing it.
So Doc got pretty lucky there. she drew the merchant first and then the Kroll. If it had went the other way, Doc would have just taken damage and then had another, and then discarded the merchant. So pretty lucky there. Now, mind you, I don't think it necessarily was the biggest deal because Doc was in a commanding lead anyways. Yeah. Especially because what's it called? Sorry. Yes, that's what I was thinking. My mind moved too quickly. I thought I was saying that, I just didn't say it. Especially because they didn't actually go to the market, right? They didn't swap any of their cards in the hand, so their hand was already so good they didn't need the extra market effect.
Yeah.
And of course, this will be roughly the end. Vicious Overgrowth, number whatever, plus a bunch of attackers. Or I think it's lethal on board actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
good
I think
stuff.
that's lethal on board. So well played by Doc, taking game number 1 against Prackalakin. We'll have to see it later. I think it was the Boxer, I believe. Does the Boxer have Elysian spells in Throne? Am I correct about that?
I do not remember. I do not think so. I think Doc was
In
no. I'm
Throne
pretty.
later.
Oh, in Throne.
I
Sorry.
think
Yes.
Boxer brought it, and there was some discussion
Um.
over whether
Yes.
to play the Krull or not to play the Krull, and which is
Yeah. So
actually the better.
Boxer, and Bottled Gin brought Elysian spells in Throne, and Boxer did not bring Krull in Throne.
Yeah,
Boxer is the
I'm not gonna
person.
put word in Boxer's mouth, but I believe Boxer is on record saying that they believe that Krull is not worth a slot in the deck, whereas Doc does. So we'll have to see who gets
Yes.
the better end of the stick in today's tournament.
Well, they both of them have to make it to Throne first, and that's
That's true.
obviously not guaranteed. This hand though is pretty solid. Now, obviously, it's a slower Wump, but turns out Wump is good whenever you can play him.
Pretty good. That's true. Thank you. Is it Anthrax or Eighthrax? I don't know, but thank you so much for the follow. We appreciate it. Yeah, not the rare turn 2 Wump, but it always is nice when you get to play that out there. Yeah, a little bit of a slow hand. If this Wump gets answered, you still have the Master Conjure, but no spells in hand, so little bit awkward. Well, there's a draw, so that helps too. Yeah, which direction do you want to fight on? Do you want to be Master Conjure Elysian? Do you want to be Wump Elysian? Do you want to be Giral Elysian? Pick your poison.
Well, they're all the same Elysian.
It's true.
I
Ooh,
mean,
okay.
I think this is a fine trade for. I mean, on both sides, right? You have to remove the Master Conjuring. Right? You'd rather the Conjurer live. If you're Doc, you're not disappointed because you at least got to ramp your Primal a bit. Getting to 6 and eventually 8 Primal is a big deal. Just trading 1 for 1, but getting extra Primal isn't the end of the world. Now, it's not obviously you'd rather the Conjurer just live forever, but nothing can live forever in a card game.
All right, expand the reach here for Prackalakin. They're up to 5 power already, and they have Speaking Circle in hand as well as Equalize here. So Equalize might be pretty tough for Doc in this situation. Now, they will have the Helio here to refill their hand after this.
I'm a little surprised that Doc didn't play Power and Berserk. Because if they play, I see. Oh, never mind. I get why. Because they had to play the 5th power here. Because if they play the other power, they would have, it would become transformed.
Prackalakin actually going to play the
6th power.
Speaking Circle out before the Equalize here. Obviously,
Really?
Speaking Circle being a more powerful card, but also banking on the fact of hitting something to deal with these units. Because if they miss, then Doc can just eat that Speaking Circle this turn.
I suppose part of it is, and they did miss.
They did, and they missed. Nothing on there can hit, and that Speaking Circle is going to bite the dust here.
Yep, and notably, they did not go for treachery, which would have been very good for them, but they did not go for it. So, that being said, Helio's not at its best when you might see. Now, Doc is probably gonna go face here.
Because you can deal the 3 snowballs, can hit the Speaking Circle.
Yeah.
That's pretty good synergy too, because
look at that sexiness off that Berserky Jarl there. Because the standard
it's
deck
a spell now.
turns spells, it can be drawn with Jarl, so that's extra bonus spells that might not originally been there.
What a turn there for Doc. Wow, drawing multiple spells there, dealing with the Speaking Circle cleanly, and then putting Prackalakin down to 9. Now, we know that Prackalakin has the Equalize, but it is going to take care of these units.
Well, I do think it was correct of Doc to play the Temple Standard the previous turn. Amusingly, if they had went for the other line, she would have just won the game because you would have been able to play. Oh no, would it win the game? No, that's a clan standard, not a second Vishogra. Excuse me. They look very similar. They're both 2-cost spells. The art looks kind of similar. Prax just emptying cards of the hand for when they go for the Equalize.
Yeah, just emptying out cards here. Then they're going to go for that Equalize to make Doc discard some, and then turning off the Wump and Mizo as well, so that if Doc decides to keep the Wump, cannot play it this next turn or for a couple turns.
Yeah, but the thing is, Doc's in a very good position.
Yeah, I mean, you still can keep on
Especially
to...
because, see, you might notice how much power they have. It is now 6, and Helio costs 6, and Krull can now get back Helio, and
True.
so Krull has become a very, very good draw.
Yeah, and you gotta keep the merchant and the draw there.
Wizziller's a great top deck. Dazzle, good top deck.
A little awkward with the power here, but it's not a huge deal. I'm sure Doc's very happy how things are going right now.
If Doc really wants to wait and hold, they can just play etchings for as a seek power, and then next turn play their stuff and leave up the Dazzle. So what is in Prack's hand?
Prack just has a pair of sigils.
Woof.
So not much going on over there. All right, gonna grab Learned Imitator out of the market here and expand the reach. As I mentioned last game, these ramp decks have a lot of power, but sometimes you get into a situation like this where your opponent stabilizes and then you just draw more things that draw more power, and that's not really great. Can equalize here. That's pretty good, though. Yeah, that was huge. So being able to draw that equalize there to basically discard the hand and take care of the units, but get a free draw off your power here. Dazzle, not great. This is tough now. Let's see what Prack can do. Can Prack come back thanks to that second copy of Equalize?
Prack's doing their best. Coveted Gemstone, presumably getting a massive greatsword. Wait, is that already in their deck? No, that's not right. They're just gonna.
They got a Rum First Constructor here. You can play relics from your market.
That's right. That's right. They're playing Rum. That's right. I forgot they're playing Rum.
Oh, this went bad for Doc in a hurry.
Seen before. Have any of you in Twitch chat have ever seen Realm on the battlefield before? Because I have not.
All right, nice. Master Conjurer here. Tough decision. Do you play it out and risk it, or do you just keep up the Dazzle? Keep up the Dazzle, I guess. Oh, Speaking Circle off the top for Prackalakin. Here we go.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Prack's just getting all these top decks. Disgusting.
Strategize. I think that was a Synchronized Strike maybe on the first one.
I think so too. And then deal 2 damage.
Yeah, deal 2 damage.
Yeah, cool.
That's pretty good. And that's this 10-10's gonna hit Doc pretty hard. The Elysian deck can do a lot of things, but blocking 10-10s is not really what it's designed to do here. Dazzle, but
take Crow. Oh, by the way, Crow counters Citywide Ban.
I'm
putting that in quotes
here.
because notably Citywide Ban says choose one of the 4 cards, right? Mm-hmm. Crow, top deck Crow. I told you the Helios or whatever Doc is actually finds to be the best card, but I'm gonna guess it's Helio. But anyways, because Citywide Ban is the top 4 cards, one of those is Crow. You never care about playing Crow anyways, so you only actually get 3 choices by playing Citywide Ban against a Crowley Elysian.
True. Okay, so named Helio with the Citywide Ban.
Nope. So I guess Merchant probably is better because you can get this careless site. Fine, it's better.
All right.
But Helio would have drawn so many cards. Where?
All right, here we go. So this is one of the new cards that we saw from the mini set here. 5/3 Flying Regen. Transform a relic or sight into a 4/1 soldier that can't block. We saw that just happen there. And then when it hits the enemy player, you can draw 2, discard 2. Dazzle's going to take care of this 10-10 for a turn. And I assume you're going to trade off. Yeah, trade off the 2/3 for the 4/1. And now you got 2 attacks with the Drake to take care of Prackalakin. Prackalakin just with a sigil in hand.
I'm actually surprised they didn't just block with their 5/3. It has regen.
It does have regen. That's true.
Because Prack doesn't have any damage-based... Oh, they do have... Oh, never mind.
They do.
They do have...
Oh,
That's right. Oh, sorry. Yes, because they have... Yes, Doc is correct because they have Rum in play.
Oh, they can play. They can play relics from their market. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Look at Doc being smart. This is why Doc's in the top 16.
But unfortunately, though, with that greatsword attack, it just put Prack down to 5. Or
it's attack you had to make.
Yeah, you had to make it
because
there.
You had. I mean, it costs 7. You have to get that tempo play in while you can. I don't necessarily know what Prack's goal is, but
You're right.
Well,
no,
I guess Prack's. Because Prack could top deck into the Speaking Circle, right? And then you want to have the regen gone in case you got another 3 damage spell.
That's true. And then they could just replay this again next turn, right?
No, it's from the market, right? Not from the void.
Oh, from the market. I'm sorry, from the market. I apologize. All right, Avagraph there. Okay, but that's something you can do. That can take
I
care
will
of the
say,
Conjurer, but that doesn't hit the Flyer.
Rum is being
Oh,
very cool though.
Smite. All right, Smite can take care of the 5-3 though. Ooh.
Can I just say that Rum was very cool this game? Look, did you see how cool Rum was?
That was
That was very
unreal.
impressive. I was hazy on Rum as a card, and the market was like, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one, guys.
Well,
But
apologies,
that was
chat.
cool.
If we made that, maybe we need to give more credit to Prackalakin there. It seemed like Doc had that game completely wrapped up, and then Prackalakin was able to just turn around very quickly and then expertly navigate those last couple turns with Rum and the different market cards, and they took care of it. And they're going to tie that up 1 game apiece. Well played by Prackalakin.
At the time, I think Prack got a little bit lucky with their top decks, but that's card games, right? Being able to get lucky top decks and then going from there, right? They managed to utilize the cards they had, the cards they drew. It's a card game, and eventually, pick the cards out of the market. They expertly navigated the end of the game, as Telemoko said. It was a very good showing, and Rum proved their worth.
Yeah. And that's why these players are here. This is why these are 16 players that you're going to see today. They are all very highly qualified, very good players. So not surprising at all that we're going to see some top level play here today. Player's going to take a breather after that one. All right, let's see what any results from the back tables. We've got WSG Ron upsetting the Boxer there, 2-1. So Boxer's going to drop to 1-1 after that, and I believe that means WSG Ron is now 2-0. So congrats, WSG Ron, starting off 2-0. They will be one of our players in the top 8, and then Stormguard 798 taking it 2-0 over Yurik Yu on the back tables here. Waiting for our players to get started here.
Stormguard is our second top 8 entry.
All right, players are just going to take a quick break here. No, I believe so. I think Stormguard was. Did they drop their first one? I believe they did.
Oh, I don't remember.
I think they dropped their first one. So I think the Stormguard will go to 1-1 there. All right, let's bring it back to. We're actually going to flip to just part of another match here. I'm not going to go ahead and change all the labels and everything because they'll be right back. But let's see Ash Acer versus IP Longno here before just for a quick second. We'll flip over to this one just for a minute while our main feature match is just getting ready for their game 3, just to make sure that you're watching some exciting action here. So just a quick view into IP Longno versus Ash Acer on this side.
Got a couple of expand the reaches, one in the void and one in hand.
Good Here's card. This reality warden you mentioned. 7/7 with overwhelm now.
Yeah. It's a swole lad. It's a big chungus. It's a tremendous unit. There's a lot of terminologies that the kiddies are using today.
All right, Doc28 and Prackalakin are back in their
match.
Goodbye,
so big chungus.
Let's head back in here. All right, Doc28 here on the play. Up again, or a tied game, game 1. This is game 3.
Classic turn 3 wump.
Man, Lights Out Ace making a "Why is the rum gone" reference and comment. I was gonna make that same joke, but I couldn't find a clean spot to fit it in there. So props to you, Lights Out Ace.
So what are the answers? Let me look at the deck list. What are the answers that Prack has to a wump? As long as Doc doesn't attack into open power, obviously. Because the most obvious answer is, of course, Desert Alchemist. Other than that, there's 2 Vanquishes and the Equalizes, I believe, are the main answers. Plus, of course, Speaking Circle can do anything.
Speaking Circle can do anything. I don't know if they have any way to deal damage to the Wump, but Smite does use current health. So if the Wump ever took damage and changed to a 2/1 or a 6/5, they'd be able to take it out with Smite after that. Not sure how realistic that is, but
getting the Wump early is going to be pretty useful if the game goes long, in a sense, because one thing that might happen is Prack Avagraph Wump, but in this case, it'd be Avagrafting Party Pair. And if they Avagraph Party Pair, then Doc would still be able to play future Wumps, whereas if they Avagrafted the base Wump, they would not be able to play any Wumps. So there is some interesting notes here. So now that it's Party Pair, it is always, because it's always going to be enough snowballs in the void, it will always be protected from Abergraft in a sense.
That's a good point. And, not to beat a dead horse here, especially after Prackalakin had that great comeback last game, but if you look at Prackalakin's hand, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You got Expand the Reach, Coveted Gemstone, Enter the Monastery, and a second Coveted Gemstone, while Doc28 has a flipped Wump and a 5/3. So, of course, the Smite's going to be able to take care of that 5/3. Okay, here's a Diana. Prack just loves proving me wrong, but really needed something to turn around there because Doc, with this, like you mentioned, this party pair just really doesn't have any answer to it right now. Prack's going to need to find some way to deal with this, or this Wump's just going to win the game.
Well, Doc will be able to deal with the Diana pretty cleanly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's an interesting play that I don't know if Doc will make, but Doc could choose to not kill the 4/1 because if you think that you can win the race because your Wump is just the biggest baddest thing ever, you can choose to just play to keep the 4/1 in play, and I think Doc's looking at it that way because that stops equalize.
Yeah, I like that. Definitely protects against equalize. I like that a lot. And choosing to play out the Helio instead of vicious overgrowthing the Diana, but I agree with you. Insulating yourself from equalize by keeping that 4/1 around seems like a good play by Doc.
Yeah, it is in fact going to be very good. Looks like Prack probably will next turn go for Abergraft, I have to imagine, unless they're going to go for Rum into Abergraft, but that's perhaps a bit too slow.
And here you go. Here is the snowball. Now Doc's going to take out the Diana this turn after refilling with Helio last turn. Going to snowball it down to a 2/3.
Yeah, I think Doc's reasonably checking if they can get lethal this turn. If they had played Merchant, Huntress, Overgrowth, and went face with the snowball, it'd be at 12, 11, so there'd be 2 less plus 8. So Doc would have actually had lethal this turn if Doc had went face with snowball, I believe.
I'm actually going to get a permafrost to take care of that Diana instead. Change their mind, but
yes,
still fine, still in great shape here. And
yeah, so Doc, the thing is that when you make a misplay like that, when you miss lethal, everyone does it. You just have to still make the best play you can, even though you're like kind of bummed or whatever. Doc's still obviously in great shape. They have Dazzle backup, so they're probably not feeling too hot. But hopefully they're not tilting too hard about that because it's an easy thing to overlook, especially turns as complicated as that, where you have like 6 cards in hand and a Wump in play and snowballs to distribute. So no shame there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a really good article by Magic Hall of Famer Paulo Vitor Domine Rosa about that. There's a whole article about the mentality of you make a small mistake or you change your mind in the middle of the play, and then it feels really awkward because you feel like, well, I can't now go back because I already made this other play and now I would feel silly, or I can't play my power now after I made that mistake. But it's important to recognize that, like, feeling silly doesn't matter, and even if you have to change your mind, you still make the best play available to you at the time, and that's a really good lesson to learn. It's hard. I try really hard to do that, but yeah, it's a very good lesson to learn. Gonna play out a 5/5 flying regen Forge Sanitizer, but Dazzle doesn't care about regen. Dazzle's just gonna stun that and let Doc attack, and Doc28 gonna take it 2-1 in a close match over Prackalakin, and Doc28 is going to be able to make our top 8